Yo, what's up guys, how's it going? So today we're going to be looking at how to make a rock guitar sound awesome using plugins in Logic Pro. So let's get started. So firstly I've got my guitar running straight into my audio interface and then straight into Logic on input 1. This is an audio track here. I just right click here and select a guitar image, keep it nice and organized. So first thing I'll put it into is a pedal board. Now you don't necessarily have to use this, or you won't necessarily be using this, but it's just good to have it first in the chain anyway, so it gives you the options. So I'm going to put a octave on here just for the sake of an example. Next thing you want to do is go into your amp simulator. So in Logic you've got amps and pedals, amp designer, or I've got my own plugin installed, the bias effects. So I'm going to go to bias, and they've got great presets on here. I'm just going to use the high gain for now. You can create your own presets too if you've got this software, same as with the Logic amp simulator. So you might end up getting a bit of noise at this stage. It depends what your setup is. There's a tiny bit of noise I can hear, it's not too bad. So noise gate here you've got on bias, but I find actually to add, so if you go dynamics, noise gate, fast gate, actually roll back the threshold a little bit because you want to keep the sustain on the guitar, then move that to the start of the chain, and that just should tighten it up a little bit. Nice. Maybe a little bit more threshold on there. And next, after you've got bias, you want to put it into reverb, space designer, go to the presets, small spaces, rooms, and I think that the drum booth 4 is really good for guitars. So take the dry signal all the way up, and then you want to take the wet signal, and this is the sound of the room here. So you want the dry signal all the way up because you want to keep the full body of the guitar sound, and then you just want to add in around it the room. So I'll show you what it sounds like without the wet. It's the normal guitar sound, no room. Add it in. You can hear how that brings in a room around the sound. So let's do that. I'm going to leave it quite a small amount. Don't want it to be too resonant for the rhythm guitars. Maybe for lead guitars, make it a little bit more resonant, get a little bit more room sound in there. So, sounding good. I'm still getting a bit of my guitar come through my mic, so I'll turn my mic off soon once we've got all the plugins. So, space designer, that's all good. Now we want to add in an EQ. And we're basically, with the chain here, we're just trying to emulate what would happen in an analog situation. So going from a pedal board into the amp, and then the amp would be resonating in the room, which the mic would be picking up. And then we would go into the desk where we would be putting an EQ. And on the EQ, I'm just going to scoop it a little bit below 50. I don't want to take too much off or do too much to it, but we're going to add 100 to 200. This is just for the low end sort of bite. Remove a bit of 500, and that's just getting rid of the sort of cardboardy, boxy sort of sound. Add a bit of 1k to 2k, maybe a little bit more towards 2k. Take that down a bit. High end or mid end, mid to sort of bite. Take off a little bit of the end, not too much, because we like the higher frequencies. And that's looking good, to be honest. Now, sounding nice and meaty. So now we just want to get a bit more body and volume in there. So dynamics, compressor, and this will be our final plugin. And you can just go to the presets, guitars. Guitar heavy is a really good one. I really like that one. And I don't really dial this one in too much because I find this works really good. No, just make, because we're going to get a bit more volume, just make sure that we're not going to be clipping. So I'll show you what it sounds like now with all the plugins on there, and turn off my mic so you're not hearing the guitar come through there as well. Sounding pretty cool. So you can play around with it to your heart's content at this point. You've got it all set up. You can add, take away pedals. I like the whammy as well, that's a great pedal. Still getting my guitar coming through my microphone. But there you go. So that's how you get a nice rock sound in Logic Pro. And that's all set up, ready for you to mix into your song, volume-wise. You don't need to add much more onto that, really. You've got everything there ready. You've got pedalboard where you can add reverbs. You can also add pedal boards in between the space designer and bias. You can add reverbs, so it's post amp reverbs, and there you go. That's how you get a nice rock sound using plugins in Logic Pro. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. There's plenty more coming. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.